he showed on the show Receiver. If that any of that starts to happen in week 1, 2, or 3, yikes! Don't ruin your legacy, bruh. Don't ruin your legacy. All right, I got to get over this. All right, let's watch the camp report from Steve Weiss about the quarterback competition.
Welcome back, Judy Batista. Welcome in our friend Steve Weiss. You heard Steve, Davante Adams right there talking about the quarterback situation, and there have been a ton of changes from his buddy Derek Carr, who was benched late in the 2022 season.
Can't say that name!
Last year, it was Jimmy G. They make the move to Aiden O'Connell. Davante says that he signed off. Now, whether it's Gardner Minshew or Aiden O'Connell, somebody's got to get Davante the ball in the early going.
Yep.
All that under-the-radar buzz about maybe he would be available in a trade is only going to pick up.
1,000%, Tom. And I was at day one of training camp today down in Costa Mesa.
And that's one cool thing, right? That they're in Costa Mesa. They're out in my neck of the woods practicing. It's not open to the public. But that's pretty cool that the Raiders are kind of pretty much back in L.A. per se and practicing. And Antonio Pierce is enjoying it. That's pretty damn cool.
Raiders, there's a lot of talk about how this probably is going to be a run-heavy offense, which is not music to Davante Adams' ears. But, you heard him talk about the quarterback competition right there between Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew. Of course, head coach Antonio Pierce said they're in no rush to come to a decision on who that's going to be. And today, both Minshew and O'Connell said each has to earn this. That was a moderately paced 90-minute practice today, and O'Connell took the majority of the snaps with the first team, but that really didn't mean anything with the way they were rolling players through there. Everyone got to work with the starters. Everyone got to work with the backups. Now, they were mentally stressed, though. Luke Getsy, the new offensive coordinator, was rolling in a ton of personnel packages.
No doubt, no doubt. This is going to be a run-heavy offense. That's why, man, in fantasy football, maybe y'all should think about drafting Zeus in the late rounds as a sleeper.
Including multiple tight end packages with this.
There you go. Multiple tight ends for blocking in the run game as well.
Work with the starters. Everyone got to work with the backups. Now, they were mentally stressed, though. Luke Getsy, the new offensive coordinator, was rolling in a ton of personnel packages, including multiple tight end packages with this year's rookie first-round draft pick Brock Bowers, last year's top pick Michael Mayer. That's something to look for in this offense. And in terms of Adams, just a little side note, he said he may have to dip out of training camp because his wife is expected to deliver their baby boy at any moment, Judy.
That's beautiful. Good luck, Davante.
Just to go back to
happy, healthy baby boy. He's already a girl dad, as we saw in Receiver. Now he's going to be a boy dad.
Him talking about the Netflix show, I give him a lot of credit because he did not try to say, no, we were misportrayed and it wasn't edited fairly. He said, yeah, it was an accurate representation of how frustrated he was. He did not back off how frustrated he was last season. I did think he sounded really settled and in a good place right now, although certainly we will see how the season develops.
Exactly. We're going to see. We just talked about it.
They're not going to get him the ball. I suspect we will see a lot more frustration. One thing I did think was interesting, he talked about Luke Getsy's offense and how comfortable he is in that. And he said he remembers about 85% of that offense from when it was in Green Bay. So he feels a real comfort level. He's been able to help other guys absorb it. And perhaps that will help a little bit calm the waters there. But as you said, Steve, if they are going to focus on having a run-heavy attack and they don't get the ball to Davante Adams early and often, certainly keep your eye on the trade deadline because we are going to be talking an awful lot about Davante Adams at that point.
Yep. It was said right there. There's going to be a lot of talking about Davante, and I wish it wasn't a distraction. I hope it's not. But we're all Raider fans. We know what happens. But more importantly, they talked about Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew competing at camp, giving every opportunity to win the job. And that's all we can expect from this offense. I mean, does either one of them actually deserve the starting position? Should we have had a better quarterback, have drafted a quarterback? It's all up to anybody's guess. But I'm worried, Raider Nation. I'm worried. Even for Gardner Minshew, who is my favorite to lead the starters, I'm still worried. Because it's a new offense, and we got a better defense. So they're going to play money ball. Basically, they're going to run the ball. They're going to try to stay in games and score and keep the other teams down. And then use Devontae on the big plays. But again, they need to use him early and often, and they need to spread the field. These quarterbacks gotta do something better. It's early in camp. They haven't even put on the pads. And that's what worries me. It's going to get worse when they put on the pads. But hey, have some faith, Raider Nation. All right, let's get the screen back up. And let me go to the next subject. That was your camp updates. Now let's get into some Raider news, if you will. I don't know if it's technically news, but it is. There might be more news than this, but this is what I know about. And I love this freaking picture. They posted this picture like they're excited. And they're gloating. Look at that. Raiders got $34 million in cap space. And look at that. Tom Telesco and Antonio Pierce like, yeah, what's up? We got $34 million in cap space. Is that something to gloat about? Why do we have $34 million in cap space at the beginning of training camp? When there's a lot of veteran free agents that are available that will actually play better for a decent salary than some of the rookies and the people we got on the team now. You want the veterans to come in before training camp. You don't want to wait for an injury. It might cost more money to get that player if we wait for an injury. So I don't understand the picture why they're gloating. It's not a good thing to have $34 million in cap space right at this moment. And I spoke about it on last week's show. Some of that money, when team or players are released, that money might go up to 35, 36 million. We can still maybe get a free agent. It might cost us more, it might not. But I still believe the majority of that money is being hoarded by Tom Telesco for Mark Davis. Mark Davis is paying $10 million to Gruden still, probably. He's paying probably $10 million to Josh McDaniels still. He hopefully helping Antonio Pierce out with his bankruptcy. And he got a lot of bills. You know, he has to pay for the general manager from last season as well. That guy that got fired with McDaniels. So, Mark Davis, in my opinion, wanted Tom Telesco to hoard as much money as he can for as long as he can so it can sit in the bank and earn interest. That's just my opinion. So some of that money is paying the bills. Just my opinion. All right. We had a Raider that just retired.